We're going to begin this lesson by distributing and combining like terms with polynomials. So let's start with a monomial times a quadratic binomial. Parentheses indicate that we need to multiply. So you will do 7 times -4 first, which is -28. And then you need to multiply x times x squared is x to the third. Next, you need to do 7x times -4 is also -28, and then x times 4 just brings over this x. So this is a cubic binomial. It's simplified because there's no more like terms or parentheses remaining. Okay, now we have a monomial times another monomial, and a monomial times a binomial. So we do 10 times 7x is 70x. And now I need to distribute positive 9 to both terms inside. So 9 times -6 is -54. And 9 times -10x is -90x. Now I want to look for like terms. And I see a 70x and a -90x would be -20x. And I bring down my constant. So I'm left with a linear binomial. I'm going to jump over number 3 and head straight to 4 for sake of time. Getting a little more complicated, monomial times a binomial. Well, I'm going to do 4 times 3, multiply these coefficients first. So 4 times 3 is 12, and then I multiply x times x squared is x to the third. Keep your base and add your exponents. 4x times -4x is -16, x to the second. I'm going to switch to green for the second set of distributing, and I need to make sure that I distribute a -2x squared. So that's going to produce a -10 x to the third, and then -2 times -6 is positive 12 x to the second. Next, I'm going to look for like terms. So I have 2 cubic terms, and 12 minus 10 would be 2 x to the third, and then I have -16x squared plus 12x squared would be a -4x squared for my final expression. So I'm left with a cubic binomial. Why don't you pause and see if you can do number 5 without me? Okay, so I begin by distributing -2 to get -24x. What would be helpful in this second one is to recognize that there's a -1. So if you distribute -1, it switches your signs to make this a positive 4x to the third minus 2x plus 9. Make sure all 3 signs here switched as you go down. Now, let's begin combining our like terms. So I start with my highest degree. 4x to the third has nothing like with it. Then I have 2 linear terms. That's going to be -26x. And lastly, a constant of plus 9 to get a cubic trinomial. All right, let's kick it up a notch. Now let's see how we have to handle when we have 2 binomials that are multiplied together. And really, what we're going to do is just distribute all the things. So you're going to fill in, use the distributive property to multiply polynomials. So I just have a higher order one here as a reminder. When we have 2x cubed times x cubed, that's 2x to the 6th. 2x cubed times 3x squared is 6x to the 5th. Then I'll have -4x to the 4th, and lastly, plus 10x cubed. All right, so I have one term that I'm distributing. And let's check out what we do when we have 2 terms. So I have a binomial times another binomial. So what you're going to do here is just multiple times you're going to do the distributive property. So I'm going to begin with this x, and I'm going to distribute it to everything in the second binomial, which produces 3x to the second, and then x times +2 is plus 2x. Okay. There's a second term that I didn't do anything with, this -4. So I need to distribute -4 to everything in the second binomial, which produces negative 4 times 3x is negative 12x, and then minus 8 last. Now, frequently, you're going to have two middle terms that can be combined. There's nothing like with 3x squared, but 2x minus 12x is negative 10x minus 8. So I'm left with a quadratic trinomial. I'm going to show you a more visual way. This is a box method, sometimes also called an area method. You just make a 2 by 2 grid to make 4 spots. And you take the one binomial, 3a plus 4, and put it across the top. And you take the other one and put it on the side. It doesn't matter. You could have chosen to put the 3a plus 4 here and the a minus 2 over there. And what you're going to do is the product of two terms. So you're going to do 3a times a, and you're going to put that answer here, which will be 3a to the second. And then you do a times positive 4 is 4a. And now you're going to multiply negative 2 times each of these. So 3a times negative 2 is negative 6a. And lastly, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Now, one more step is you often have like terms. They won't always, but many times they're going to be on one of the diagonals. So the last thing you need to do is express your answer, which would be 3a squared. Negative 6 plus 4a would be negative 2a, and then there's a minus 8. So it does not matter to me which way you choose to do it. You can do double distributing or the box method. Just pick what works for you and go with it. So I'm going to do this one by distributing again. So I'm going to begin with 5a, and I'm distributing that to the two terms in the second, which would be 10a to the second minus 30a. And now I'm going to distribute the negative 3 to the two terms in the second binomial. So negative 3 times negative 2a is minus 6a, and negative 3 times 6 is positive 18. So lastly, I need to combine any like terms to get 10a squared minus 36a plus 18. All right, why don't you try your favorite method? Try this one on your own. Hit play when you're ready. So I'm going to try this one by the box method again. You pick your favorite. Here are my terms to get a final answer of 3x squared plus x minus 2. Okay, here's a quick application. It says the dimensions of a rectangle are shown. Write the area as a simplified polynomial. And I hope that you know that area of a rectangle is length times width. So all you are going to do is multiply x plus 2 times x plus 3. And we're going to distribute. So x squared plus 3x. Then I distribute the 2 to get plus 2x plus 6. And I'm then combining my linear terms. So I have a 3x and a 2x that are like. To get x squared plus 5x plus 6. And lastly, I'm going to say that this would be units squared, because it doesn't tell me what the units are, if they're feet or inches, but this would be the polynomial in simplified form right here. Okay, last one. Hope you didn't stop the video early, super important. 2x minus 3 squared. What some kids will do incorrectly is they will try to distribute this outer exponent, and that is wrong. You cannot do that. So the question is often, well, why can't I do that? You can only do that from our last unit if you have a monomial inside. This is a binomial. So what do you have to do? You have to write this out as what it literally means. The base is 2x minus 3, and it's there 2 times as a factor. So what you actually have is 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3, which gives you 4x squared when we begin distributing this 2x minus 6x, and then I'm going to distribute, I'll switch colors here, I'm going to distribute the negative 3 to get negative 6x plus 9, which gives me 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. So when you square a binomial, you often get a trinomial. So if you didn't understand or I went too fast, the beauty of a video is you go back and you rewatch where you either zoned out or you got confused, okay? If you watch this without sound on, that's not a great way to learn. Okay, if you still need help after trying all these things, please reach out for assistance.